I'm George Boss Ryan to get to Free Press, and I'm asking you to help spread the word of truth as you watch these videos, because as you know, they do not give the counts of your views, and this is something that you have emailed me about, but I'm saying you don't worry about the count. You just watch the video and share it with your mama, daddy, sister, brothers, and friends and enemies, and then be educated so you can help save this nation, because the free press and freedom of speech is under attack. Now look, as you know, I've covered many stories that your traditional mainstream news media will not cover, including the case of the Quitman 10+2, the Madison, Florida 9, Meigs, Georgia mayor, Linda Harris, who they railroaded out of office, Lumpkin mayor, Charles Gibson, they railroaded out of office, Mary Ann Whippaloo, that they started out on the first day of her taking the oath in Gordon, Georgia. You have seen me publish all of this stuff across the state of Georgia, all the way up to Warrenton with Mayor George Ivey. Your mainstream news media refused to connect the dots. Barack Obama and the Democratic Party seems not to care about voter suppression, voter intimidation, and removing black mayors from office and commissioners. So this morning is a holiday. They call it President's Day. And I want to draw your attention to the case of Douglas Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson, along with 3 other Democrats that were brought up on charges under a disgraceful Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp. You need to see what is happening to this black woman. And I want you to look at DuBose Porter of the Democratic chair. And I want you to see what he said about all these cities and counties that I have highlighted that the white-owned, white-dominated, and white-controlled news media turn thumbs down on, because they don't care about your children that put their life on the line in the military to fight for the freedoms of white Americans and foreign nations of the world, but will not put their their newspapers and presses to the print what's going on in the black community. Now, if you disapprove what I'm saying, Al Sharpton from MSNBC, then call me. Give me a chance to present my historic facts. And I don't even have to be on your show. I will provide white people, I will provide black elected officials that won the office, and they got a story to tell, but these white folk, black Uncle Toms and Aunt James, will not republish these truths to the American people. And it is indeed a disgrace before the people in these different cities and counties and in the state of Georgia, along with the Department of Justice, dating back even to Eric Holder. Representative Tyrone Brooks and myself, along with Joseph Lowry, Jesse Jackson, leaders there in Atlanta, sent all this information, DVDs, to highlight what was going on with the Quitman 10+2. They just ramshacked that black group of people, some of the most educated, outstanding citizens in the nation. No CNN, no 60 Minutes, no 48 Hours, no Your Line. It is a disgrace to the media for what they have done with the black elected officials in the state of Georgia, including CNN. Now, I'm going to say to you as I get ready to close, Olivia Coley Pearson was one of 3 other people that was brought up on bogus voter fraud charges in Coffee County, Georgia. I was called and had an all-expense trip paid to New Orleans on behalf of this situation. This is a pattern and a practice to keep blacks out of office, and it's a disgrace how black people continue to vote the Democratic Party, and with all that these Democrats have suffered, the Democratic Party for the most part gone crazy. But they haven't gone to these communities to stand up for these black elected officials, yet they keep telling black people to vote the Democratic Party. Now, I listened to governor candidate Pearson Stacey Adams, a black woman. I respect her. I really believe she want to be governor. I have sent emails, I have sent videos to her, and I haven't heard nothing from her. But the people in these troubled communities have vowed that they would not vote for the Democratic Party until Democrats that's running for public office come and address their issues. Come and address their issues. But we got these silly Democrats leaders, these Democratic leaders in Georgia and across the United States who believe that blacks are still asleep and going to continue to vote the Democratic Party when they see how the Democratic Party are ignoring these troubled communities and they're treating them like dirt. Dirt. And I was over in Sylvester, Georgia with a black organization, civil rights I might add, who said they would never ever vote the Democratic Party again because the Democratic Party don't give a damn about the black people because they see the hell they are catching and they turn their heads away. Like the chairman of the Democratic Party in the state of Georgia, Du Bois Porter, and people are saying stay away from the Democratic Party until they see that these troubled communities need help. And so, as I said, Coffee County Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson, they don't want her in office because she got a backbone. She's not an Aunt Jane, and she's not an Uncle Tom. And from what I've reported, her mother was not an Aunt Jane. And the people in these communities love her. But they are those white people, along with those Uncle Toms and weak Negroes who can't tell the difference between an orange and a grapefruit. Can't tell the difference from an orange and a grapefruit, and from a banana and or a sweet potato, who sit, say, and do nothing. And so I must tell you the truth, because I love you just that much, as a retired military veteran. Now, in conclusion, I cut this video because I want you to know. Well, let me ask you this question before I say that. Google Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson, court date February the 22nd in Jessup, Georgia. Not in Coffee County, not in an area close to Coffee County, but they moving her way over yonder in Jessup, where I understand the black population is somewhat low. And they tell me, well, I won't say that, I'm gonna wait until after the court date to say that, what they tell me about what goes on over there. But I'm gonna say to you, she been to court before, just like the Equipment 10 plus 1 member. Can't think of her name right now. But one of the Equipment 10 plus 2 went to court. Her first trial was a mistrial. Her second trial was a mistrial. And her third trial, she won it out clearly. And eventually, the state of Georgia dropped all 119 to 200 voter fraud charges that were brought up by the state of Georgia. And this same Secretary of State, which is no good, zero, when it comes down to the real voting right privileges of blacks here in the state of Georgia. And this is not me saying it. Just Google Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp and listen at the people who stood up in Macon about the way he treated them when it come down to voting rights. Even the sheriff in, Sheriff Stevenson, I can't think of the county, y'all excuse me, I got so many of these cities, they all running together, but Sheriff Stevenson, listen to what he said. Christopher Stevens, see what he said about this so-called investigation that's done by the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp. Take a look. Don't take my word for none of this. And see what your news media networks there in Macon said about what was presented before Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp. you won't find anybody, because we don't have no news media in the black community except social media. And so you who all are supporting the mainstream media, you better start supporting the people who will give you the truth, because many of you have served in the wars of this nation. Some of your relatives have died in Vietnam, Kuwait, and other war-torn areas, and yet you don't even have a free press that will tell your story and report the truth to the American people. And so people of America remain deaf, dumb, and blind to the times, and unable to make intelligent decisions based on facts. And so I put my request in. Marianne Whipperlue from Gordon, they mistreated her too. But I'm talking about Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson. She done been in the courtroom 3 or 4 times already. Her first trial was a mistrial, just like the Equipment 10+2 member. And do you know, in Equipment there was a 19-day trial, 19 days with Lula Smart. Yeah, that's her name. 19 days. No news media. No TV station. And when the charges was dropped, they called the news media in Brooks County in front of the courthouse, and not one of them showed up. Not one. And then the Democratic Party wants you to vote Democratic Party. The Democratic Party from the state of Georgia didn't give a dime about them Democrats. And the truth must be told, because without truth you can receive no freedom. So now they sending Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson case over to Jessup. I put my request in under Rule 22 to be in the courtroom, the first case, and they let me in the courtroom. But after it was a mistrial, I was ordered by Judge Spivey not to post it to the general public. I was ordered by Judge Spivey not to put it in the eyes of the public. And then after it was a mistrial, I'm not going to post what one of the jurors said she went through, a black girl. I interviewed her, and I could publish that because I have the freedom to do so. But I have not published it because of a reason I'm going to tell you after this trial. You need to see how this jury selection process is carried out in Coffee County, Georgia, and in other areas as far as that goes. So they don't want us in the courtroom. Then she went to court again. I had my request in to Judge Spivey in time and the district attorney of Coffee County, and they ignored me. And when I got there early, I had already faxed it in. I had it certified. I had an affidavit as the Rule 22 requires, and they walked right past me. And the Judge Spivey didn't even call me to say nothing whether I was approved or disapproved. That's your Judge Spivey. I think he ought to be removed from the case. I think Judge Spivey should be removed from Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson's case, in my most humble opinion, because he did not respect Rule 22 and the request that I put in. Now, I understand these people. I was just as respectful of that judge as I could when he gave me orders not to publish any of that video, and I did not. And I went one step further and didn't even post what one of the black jurors said, the hell she caught in the jury room from, I'm gonna say that, but it's been documented, and I do have it, and I've shared it and filed it away in 3 locations in 3 states, because that's the way I operate. It's filed in 3 states, just like a lot of other information that I have, because I don't trust wicked people, because Jesus told me not to trust so-called Christians who are wolves in sheep's clothing. And so I put my request in last week to be in the courtroom in Jessup, Georgia, Ware County, I haven't heard nothing from anyone, no phone call, no letters, no email, no fax, no nothing. And tomorrow I'm going to put in another request as required by Rule 22, because I want to show Georgia and the American people how little they care about freedom of the press, just like they did Nydia Tisdale. Nydia Tisdale. Google her. Google Nydia Tisdale, a white reporter of social media like myself. You see, we are under attack. You serve in the armed forces of this nation as I did for 20 years. But if you had known that they were taking away freedom of the press and freedom of speech, would you have served in the armed forces? Would you carry the wounds that you're carrying while these wicked white folks and black Uncle Toms and Aunt Jane placating, duplicating, and imitating the founding fathers of this great republic and claiming to be Christians, claiming to be followers of Muhammad, the son of Amram and Yoshabel, claiming to be followers of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but they don't produce the fruits. Olivia Coley Pearson, they want her out of office real bad, man. Just like they drove these other black elected officials out while the Democratic Party sat there and make mockery and laugh at black folk and say, we don't give a dime about you, and that's why we don't even show up. That's why we don't even support you black people when they come out after y'all like they did Linda Harris and Meggs, or like they did, or still doing Rufus Davis and Camilla, or like they do it Christopher Wright in Dawson, Georgia, just like they did Charles Gibson in Lumpkin, Georgia, just like they did the individual in Clayton County whose name was left off the ballot and he told the Secretary of State about it, or just like Warrenton Mayor George Ivey, just like the black mayor in Davisboro, or just like the black mayor that's in Sparta, not the black mayor, but just the way they did the blacks over in Sparta, and all-white board of elections, and no local news media would tell that story, no radio station would tell that story, but thank God for New York Daily Times coming all the way down to Sparta, Georgia. Yeah, all the way to Sparta, Hancock County, to report what the Middle District of Georgia news media outlets would not publish. That's how God worked. And it is indeed a disgrace for somebody to have to come that far while local news media ignore that black news dealing with voting rights, while the Democratic Party sit, say, and do nothing, then want you to vote for the Democratic Party. How silly do they think we are? Wait a minute, I haven't finished yet. Then look at Mary Ann Whipperloo in Gordon. I tell you what, they sure took her to the ringer. I tell you what, though, she served her term out. She wasn't reelected because she ran against the local press news media there in Macon, Georgia. You can look at my YouTube channel, that's Gordon Mayor, Mary Ann Whipperloo, and see how these news TV stations, you got to see how they lied on her. You got to watch how they allow the elected mayor. You got to see it for yourself. And you don't see what the Middle District of Georgia news media focused on what Mary Ann Whipperloo asked for when she first got in audit. When she first got in the office, she asked for a forensic audit to account for the money in that city, because the finance chair, the late finance chair, Terry Reed, said that they were taking the money, and he said he wanted to see all those people that are taking the money. He wanted to see them prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, because that little town with less than 3,000 people had 19 banking accounts, and he said he didn't know where the money was. He didn't know how much money they had in the bank, and he was the finance chair, and them Uncle Tom Negroes and them white folk who used to carry it, I'm telling you the truth. And the news media contributed to it. I'm telling you, man, this thing is ugly as hell. It's ugly as hell, and somebody gonna pay. Now, you may not pay in this world. You ought to see how the city attorney spoke to that black mayor. You need to look at the video and see how the chief of police got rid of the only black full-time black employment on the police force. You need to see that for yourself, and you can see it on Boston G.B.R. YouTube, but you will not see it on your mainstream Middle District of Georgia TV station, radio, and newspaper. You won't see it. Yet you still send your son and your daughters to serve in the armed forces and to fight these wars, but they still disrespect you, and you say, thank you, sir, thank you, sir, thank you, sir, thank you, sir. They beat the hell out of you, and your children sit there and look at their mama suffer, and the news media won't even report their stories. After they are in uniform in the United States Armed Forces of our government. This is disgrace, y'all. And then they're going to come and criticize me because I'm not a part of the clique and among the slicks who are eating away at the core and very foundation of the fabric of this nation. And too many Americans just sit back and play the ostrich head duck game. What is the ostrich head duck? That's when they dig a hole, bury their head in the sand and pretend that all this is not going on when it's all been documented. And we are sitting, we'll watch Al Sharpton talk about our love or the work we are doing for Voting Rights Act, and the Congressional Black Caucus say Democrats need to get out and vote. Well, what in the hell need is there to get out and vote for the Democratic Party, and then the candidate that you choose, black man, woman, and black white people, and then when they get in office, these white folk and Uncle Tom and Aunt Jane Negroes come after them and belittle their name, do what they did to the equipment 10+2 with Linda Harris, and they violated no law, but they put them under so much pressure until they just quit. When they see these superior court judges seem to be in the clique and among the slicks, when you see an all-white jury except for one, they'll always put one. Sometimes he's an or she's an alternate. And they just driving these people out of office even after they are elected, and the Democratic Party just say and do nothing. I'm talking about the chairman, DeBose Porter, here in the state of Georgia. Then the Congressional Black Caucus and these NAACP representatives and the SCLC people in these troubled communities asking, where in heaven are they at? Where is Dateline? Where is 60 Minutes? Where is 43 Hours? Where is 1 hour? Playing these silly games, and they don't see that they are destroying this country. Black folk done lost almost all respect for this country. They done lost almost all respect. That's why they don't get out to vote. The Democrats still ask, well, black folk don't get out and vote. No, we've been voting Democrats in, and a lot of the Democrats are not Democrats anyway. They are Republican-crats. In fact, some of them are worse than the Republican-crats. Yeah, we have Democrats that are worse. And we got black Democrats that are worse than any white Democrat or Republican. And now that movement was started, I think it was in I can't think of it. I can't think of it right now. But there's a movement now where they got on the internet. They are highlighting all the Uncle Toms and Aunt Jane. They got a list of them. They got a list of the Uncle Toms and Aunt Jane. I think they might even have Al Sharpton on there, because he had come to these places, and I didn't do it. I don't have that kind of pull. I wished I did. I wished I had the kind of pull that these people that going around and doing the homework to know in these cities and states where the Uncle Toms and Aunt Janes and putting their name on the internet, so at least black and white right people will know who they are. Because you have a right to know. Your son, your daughter suffered, bled, and died for this country for you to have a right and to have a voice. Have a voice. You know, we can believe if we want to. Look how much the free press brought out about our sitting president. Now, you know, I'm bad on the press, but I gotta commend the press, the job that they have done in the Donald Trump and the Russian possible infringement upon the 2016 election. CNN, I commend you, brother. MSNBC, including Al Sharpton, I thank you for the way you stood on that, brother. ABC, CBS, all of you networks, you've done a superb job. If we did not have you to stay on that case, we wouldn't know none of the information. Let me repeat, we would not have any of the information that we have now. But it's because of the job that you've done, that the founding fathers put in place. We just got a sorry-ass Congress. That's what we got. Y'all excuse me, I don't like using language like that. I'll put it more better. It's a sorry Congress we got today, y'all. They don't stand up for nothing. I'm talking about the black ones, most of them. You got a few that stand up, Maxine Waters and Sheila Jackson Lee and some others, but for the most part, they just sit, say, and do nothing and get all that money, and they're going to get a big old retirement check when they leave office the rest of their life, with all kind of health care and other benefits. Well, my reason in cutting this video this morning because of Olivia Coley Pearson's court case on February the 22nd that's getting zero news coverage. And you know why it's not getting much news coverage? Because they don't want you to know that the case was moved way over in Jessup. I mean way over in Jessup, Ware County. I'm telling you, man, it's ugly what these people are doing, man. You see, they want to do it behind closed doors where their friends and those in the clique and among the slicks will know, but you won't know nothing but what they tell you. That's what they did in Quitman, with the Quitman 10+2. If it was not for Tyrone Brooks, Senator Brown, Helen Butler, Senator Lucas out of Macon, Reverend Floyd Rose, and myself, and the expertise of one of the Quitman 10+2, Dr. Nancy Denner and Dr. Diane Thomas and others, and community leaders such as Pastor Avery, the late Pastor Avery, and Solomon Wade. You see, there are some of us who just love this country beyond words. We love this country so much until we are willing to tell the truth about this country so this country can save herself from herself before she destroys herself. Let me say one more before I close, y'all, because you need the truth. You see, you can never be free until truth comes, you know. And so I want to humbly say to you that the state of Georgia, Secretary Brian P. Kemp, I mean, they lied on the stand. We all witnessed that. We listened to G.B.R. agent Braswell. We listened to them lie on the stand talking about she put a tape recorder on the desk with Lula Smart, and I'm not going to get into all that. All that's been documented. And if the Democratic Party, or if the Department of Justice, or if the NAACP, or the SCLC, or if Al Sharpton, Lord help that brother, if he would get the transcript from Brooks County court case and look at it, he'll have some news, man. If MSNBC would only get the transcript and see what they did in those court cases with the Quitman 10+2, they could almost change the voting rights in this country. That's how ugly and disgraceful what they did to them black people's were. But you guess what? They don't give a damn, and that's why they don't do it. That's why Al Sharpton won't answer my calls. That's why Al Sharpton won't pull in these videos that I've sent him over and over again. He know about it. He has to know about it. Rachel Maddow has to have seen my videos. I sent them all to them. Unless they got a spy, or maybe the Russians are hacking and pulling my video. You see, I once believed in the free press of this nation. Because I served this country believing that we had freedom of the press, freedom of speech, and freedom of religion. I believe that. I don't believe that no more. In fact, I ain't about to believe it. I know they don't. Our free press is the best news money can buy. I'll say it again. Our news media outlets, for the most part, especially on the local level, is the best news that money can buy. And that means if you ain't got no money, you ain't got no news. The news in the black community here in Valdosta, Georgia is ignored, and I proved that so many times over, and I've been doing it for about 20+ years now. And the news media don't even care enough to even address it. I'm on a 4-year, 9-month criminal trespass following the death of Kendrick Johnson, a 17-year-old student that was found dead at Lowndes County High School. That case is going around the world, but they yet to remove me from a criminal trespass by School Superintendent Wes Taylor, and I violated no law. I violated no law. The Valdosta Daily Times refused to even report the case as if though they are in cahoots with somebody not to get the truth out about the death of that young man. CBS, refused to interview me so I could tell my story, how they have banned me, restricted me from all Lowndes County school property, and I violated no law, and they will not move me in writing, nor did they put it in writing against me. They had two sheriff deputies. One name was Sheriff Deputy Thomas, told me if you go on any part of Lowndes County High School property, you would be arrested. I might be lying to you, but you know better because I done put the tape, the audio on the tube, and you can see it just by Googling George, Boston, Rhymes, criminal trespass. You can hear Wes Taylor talk. You can hear the Sheriff Prime talk himself, because that's the way I operate. When they say we had freedom of speech, and when they say we had freedom of the press, and when they say that if you served 20 years from the military, you would carry the title of a retired military veteran, and I carry that title because I served during the Vietnam era, and they still don't give a damn about that. They don't give a damn about that, man. This is what black folk got to understand. This is what white people got to understand. You serve this country, they still don't give a damn about you. Y'all excuse the dam, but there's a lot of water in the dam. Let's just pray that the dam don't break loose, because if the dam break loose, there are a lot of damn people going to get hurt from the flooding that the Creator sent upon us because of our wicked ways. But somewhere I read, if America and the people turn from their wicked ways until the righteous God and holy God of our ancestors, they can save themselves from destruction. Well, once again, as I close, I just want short form to say to you, Google Coffee County Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson and see what's been published in the newspaper about her case. She had 4 charges, I think, brought against her, and they all was dropped except one. They spending all these taxpayers' dollars for one bogus charge against one of the best citizens in Douglas, Georgia. You see, they thought she was going to plea bargain out like a lot of the other Uncle Toms and Aunt James. See, black folk got to stop plea bargaining. You see, when you plea bargain, you're showing that you're guilty. I'm going to be honest with you. There was a black man that was charged with Mary Whippaloo, and he journeyed with us to New Orleans. But at the last moment, he plea bargained out. And he was the black man. Husky guy. I got great respect for him. Big muscles, big shoulder, way bigger than mine. But guess who's still standing? That black woman. All these cities, for the most part, it's the black woman that's standing up. The black man, you'll find them at McDonald's, criticizing me for the work I do. You'll find them at Starbucks, criticizing me for the work I'm doing. You'll find them in the street, talking about me and the work I'm doing. Pastors, criticizing me, not all of them, but most of them, for the work I'm doing. Along the lines of the real dream of Martin Luther King. But they won't invite me. Don't even ask me to come to the Martin Luther King yearly events. And I respect that, and to me it's an honor for them not to ask me, because I probably wouldn't go anyway, because I don't believe in duplicating, imitating, placating, nor burying my head in the sand, pretending that I'm about Dr. King when I'm really following the line of Satan by refusing to stand up for what is right on behalf of our active duty, disabled, retired military veterans, and just ordinary veterans of every day. Yeah. Y'all have a nice day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. They say today is President's Day, but today is another day for truth in my book. St. John 8:32 says, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set and make you free." And where there is no truth, there can be no freedom. You hear what I say? Y'all have a nice day, and I want you all to say a prayer for Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson, because her judge in the case will be Judge Spivey. And I'm telling you, the last request I put in, I told the sheriff right there in Coffee County, the sheriff deputies, that I had put in a request to be in the courtroom, and that I was waiting to hear from Judge Spivey, the Honorable Judge Spivey. And so after this court case is over, we're going to talk about Judge Spivey. And I'm going to pick up another judge. You know, I don't holler criticize the judge. There's another judge up in the Tombs Judicial Circuit. I've been saving him for the last. I want you to know what he did. And we're going to tie all these judges together, because it seemed like judges, as Bobby Worthy says, that they think they are above the law. Here in the KJ case and awarding of attorney fees, the Honorable Judge Richard Porter III was sleeping while deciding a case with nearly $1 million attorney fees, and he laying there, he's sitting on the bench. And the news media, the Valdosta Daily Times, CBS, NBC, ABC, and all the rest of the news media here in Valdosta, they didn't publish nothing about that judge sleeping on the stand. So that means they approve of a judge sleeping on your case, and guess what they say to you? That's not news. That's not news. They're telling you it didn't even happen. But I got proof that it did. And then when you request the cameras, the video camera, they'll tell you you don't have access to the cameras in the courtroom. It's not covered under the Open Records Act. 3 of us requested them, and they say it's not covered under the Open Records Act. It's not covered under the Open Records Act, because they don't want you to see that judge sleeping while they rule against Kenneth Johnson and Jacqueline in the KJ case. They don't want you to see the video because the white attorney stood and raised their hand and gave their own oath of office. I do solemnly swear, and I swear by myself that I'm going to tell the truth to myself as I want. And Judge Richard Porter, the sleeping judge, sat right there and didn't say nothing. That's what these judges are doing. That's what these judges are doing. And the Georgia Bar Association seems to approve of it. The Georgia judicial system seems to approve of this pattern and practice. The news media approves of this, and they won't tell you about it. They don't want you to know. Then when a war break out, they tell you, be a patriot and go put your life on the line and be willing to die for freedom of the press and freedom of religion and freedom of speech that you don't know nothing about. When you return back from the wars with leg missing, an arm missing, an eye busted out, or with all these other Agent Orange and all these other things that happened to us during the Vietnam War and other wars of this nation. Now wait, don't get mad with me. Don't get mad with me. News media, just call me in and set me for the camera. And you don't have to call me, because there's a lot of other veterans know what I'm talking about. Call them in and let them tell the story. Go and sit down and talk to Dr. Nancy Denner. By the way, did you know that Nancy Denner Equipment 10+2 is now the mayor of Equipment, where the state of Georgia tried to they did take her to jail, tried to send her to prison. Now she done elevated to the office of mayor. Diane Thomas back on the Board of Education, although the governor removed her from it. Lula Smart is a city councilman. I'm telling you, man, you just, these white folks something else, boy. These white folks something else. But God is much better. Look what God did. Now, there are more blacks on the city council now, after the wicked judicial system ruled against the right citizens in Brooks County. It's a disgrace, y'all. But see, we can't be angry at white people and black Uncle Toms and Aunt James. Don't get mad with them at all. Don't be mad with President Trump. God is using them. God is using these people, brothers and sisters, to expose what we've been knowing for hundreds of years. That's all God is doing. God is using these people, man. So what we should do is rejoice and thank Donald Trump and thank Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp in his unjustful acts. Thank him for allowing God to use him to expose this crooked system. You see, you used to did not know. You used to could not tell your neighbors that were an enemy. to you and your people and to white people. But now God is letting you know, if your white and black neighbors mean you any good, they can't hide no more, man. This is God's work, man. This is not me. This is God's work. God bringing this thing now full circle. Matthew 24 and 35. Matthew 24 and 35 says, this Jesus speaking through his Father, understanding that heaven and earth would pass away, but my truth and my word would stand forever. Would stand forever. You see. Don't fret yourself, black man. Don't fret yourself, black woman. Don't fret yourself, black children. And don't fret yourself, white right people. All black people don't hate you, white people, you know that. Black man does not have the hate for white people that white people have for black people. History proves that. The scriptures in 8th chapter of Deuteronomy will talk to you about that. I think I got it right. So you don't have to worry about trying to fight the white man. And please don't pick up no AR-17 or whatever they call that weapon. I got some friends that got them. May have one myself. But the bottom line is this. Don't get weapons to fight this man with, because you don't even need them. The God of your ancestors told you that you don't have to fight this war. This war, he will fight himself. And he already done told you that he will win it. So what you want to fight for? Can't you see God fighting now? Can't you see God winning now? Without even firing a bullet or pulling out a sword, unless it's a sword of right and righteousness along with holiness, which means clean and set free. Look at y'all, have a nice day. I'm getting beside myself. I will say again, February 22nd, way over in Ware County. They moved that case way over there. Judge Spivey, I think, need to remove himself from that case. That's my opinion. I really do. I think he needs to remove himself. When he disrespect Rule 22, have no reason to walk right past me when I done put the paperwork in, and he ignore me like he don't even see me and don't even call me or to say we disapprove your request under Rule 22, and I didn't write that rule. My mama didn't write that rule. My granddaddy didn't write that rule. My uncle didn't write that rule. It's in law. And they can't say they was going to pool it because nobody else showed up and nobody else put in a request, apparently but me. It's a disgrace, y'all. But this is the power that we have given our judges. And some of these judges, in my humble opinion, with all due respect, not being ugly. Listen, not being ugly, just being truthful. They have no business. I'm not going to call anyone out, but some of them have no business sitting on the bench. None. Zero. And I'm a firm believer that God going to move something. They're going to turn over one morning and God going to talk to them. God going to tell them, you're supposed to be like the judges in the book of Judges. But since you have not done that, well, you know, somewhere I read, where I find you, I will appoint your portion. That's God speaking. He said it out of great love. And he said that every man would be paid according to his work and by his deeds. So don't worry about what you see. Just know and pray and read the religious books, whether it be the Bible, Quran, the Gita among the Indians. I try to read them all. The Jerusalem Bible, all of them. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Vulgate. I try to read them all. That's why I don't hate the Muslims. I don't hate the Jews. I don't dislike the Hindu. I don't dislike any of them. What I hate is liars. Liars on top of liars. I hate hypocrites. I hate what God hates. Peace be unto you. God bless you. Because in the end, God will always win. Peace be unto you. Bye-bye. Gone. Olivia Coley Pearson. February the 22nd, 9 o'clock in Jessup, Georgia. Without news media publishing it to the general public. We report it because we report what others ignore. Peace out. Bye-bye. Gone. This is the Get To Free Press, and we report what others ignore. This is your First Amendment right to know without whiteouts from a controlled news media whiteout network. And we are located in Valdosta, Georgia, and we are here to inform, educate, and persuade if necessary. Always keep that in mind. Moreover, I want to say to you that as a community, state, nation, and world, we are not who we claim to be, but who we prove ourselves to be over a given period of time. And if we are a liar, time will tell. And if we are a racist or a hater, time will tell. And our righteous and holy God already know. So you are only fooling yourselves. Again, the Ghetto Free Press. I'm George Foster Ryan.